This is the Lian Lancool II Mesh Performance Edition. There are pros, there are cons, and of course, the questions you should be asking before you buy a case. Coming up. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos, and today we're looking at this awesome case from Lian. It's the Lian Lancool II Mesh Performance Edition. You could have bought the RGB edition, and you wouldn't have known the difference, except you would have had lights, I guess, because I'm pretty sure they're the same. So don't sweat it too much if you bought one and you're thinking about the other one, because they're pretty much identical. That being said, the questions are many about this case when you are looking through the information out there, but when you start researching, there's lots of videos out there that you probably have already researched, and the technical reviews are insane. There's so much information, and a lot of it is accurate. It is really accurate. I've been doing preliminary tests, and it's pretty spot on with the temperature and the idea of airflow coming through this case and its abilities. It's great. So the idea of pros and cons that come into context with me in terms of my workflow, which is how I decided on this case. So you have to look at workflow, and this is how you start to ask the questions you need to ask. Workflow is critical. My workflow will be different than your workflow. So when you do watch a video from another person who's got a different workflow, well, their opinion will be different. In my opinion, this case really fits the narrative of most workflows because the spacing and how they've deliberately done the engineering on this thing, they have really accommodated for a lot of the different workflows that exist. Whether you need, the bigger video cards, or you need the more drives, or whatever you need in here, it does the job. Now, the case in itself is awesome. And you got to look at the build, the construction of it, the engineering is awesome. So when we're looking at the workflow, I'm saying to myself, well, how does it fit the narrative with putting on more drives? How convenient is it? Now, my workflow is very simple. I only have 1 to 2 drives whenever I work. I've been working on laptops forever. We load up everything to Google. We have a drive that's dedicated, like in the computer, there will be a drive that's dedicated to Google where I upload everything. I work off that drive, and then, I'm able to move stuff on and off the drive. And of course, that's all backed up with Synology. We're good. When we work with people, we need to share everything. That was like the best solution for us. At the same time, other people will want to add more drives, and maybe I want to add more drives down the road. And I'm like, how easy is that? This is very convenient. At the same time, you're looking at it from a perspective of how are you going to cool everything? And I had the 5900X on order, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go with the liquid cooling with the rad. And this is a big rad. I went with the Arctic Freezer 2. It's a 360. And as you can see, it's big. When this panel drops, you can see on the inside that, hey, we're missing the 3-bay drive. It's right here. This is a 3-bay drive. Now, this can be removed. If you do remove it, make sure you take the panel off the bottom first before you try to wrestle it, and then it'll come out smoothly. You don't want to scratch the case. And what we can see here, now I have room for the radiator, and nothing is going to be really tight and uncomfortable with how everything is. But you can also see from my awesome work here, cables are not even plugged in. I'm still working on this case because stuff are missing. And this is the problem when you're buying a case and you're not asking the right questions. I went and bought the motherboard, and I never looked at where all the different parts of, or the components of the motherboard were. And then, you know what? This cable, this is the cable that goes up to the I/O panel at the top of the case that connects the USB 3. And where it's placed, the frame, it sticks out a little bit. So I can't even put a 90-degree angle add-on to attachment to this. And this, when I plug it in, it takes over one of the bays where if I want to put a fan there, I'm kind of stuck. So I can't even use this cable yet. I can't use a USB 3 because now I'm waiting for this new part to come in that's going to take around 3 weeks. Annoying, but money down the drain already. When I'm looking at the actual Type-C that's up there and the cable that comes with this, it's a proprietary cable that comes with this case if you purchase it separately. You sit there and you go, okay, great. You want me to pay for it. I'm fine with that. But now I can't find it anywhere. I can't find it anywhere. So again, I'm working off one Type-C in the back. It's annoying. and you're at the point where you're like, maybe I should just buy a third-party one, and that's it. And then what? Okay, it'll be sticking out the side. I don't know, but I don't want it in the back. I needed something in the front. Issues, I know. At the end of the day, we look at this now and we say to ourselves, well, where are we at with that thought process? The fans are a big issue for me. And they're making sounds. They're making this click, 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 click sound, a tick, tick, tick. And I've watched a lot of reviews. I don't understand how nobody mentioned it. I don't. The fans are low quality if they're meant to do this. And if they're not meant to do this, I'm hoping Lian Li finally gets back to me because it's been a while. But this clicking noise is so annoying. So now, am I looking at another replacement of fans? Is that what we're going for? Because now my bill just went up in price. I don't mind. If I knew I had to replace these fans, it would be a different story. If I knew I was buying this case and people had made that point that they do make a clicking sound, I maybe have not bought this case, or I probably would have budgeted in to get the fans I need. Now, in contrast, or perspective rather, the Arctic Cool fans, the P12s, are silent compared to what you just heard. Silent. They do go up when they go over 80% spin. You hear like a fan, but like you don't hear a tick, 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 tick sound. Again, we got to look at the stuff. We got to ask ourselves, where would we read up on this? Well, there's a lot of people on Reddit complaining about it, and I didn't bother to check Reddit. Nope. I bothered to check on it after I was hearing this, and I was like, does anybody else have this problem? So these are, again, certain questions that we have to ask and go check out before we go make a purchase on something like this. Check out all the different reviews, but then go look and ask for questions. Hey, how are the fans in the case? How are, the I/O setup? How is the engineering behind it? You'll find a lot of answers that you didn't even think you had questions to. That being said, leave a comment below. If you've bought this case, what are your experiences, pros, cons? If you're thinking about buying and you have a question, put it below. I will answer. And of course, after you click like, watch that video. It'll be good for you.